This year marks the 20th anniversary of the tragedy of Pan Am Flight 103. On December 21st, 1988, Pan Am Flight 103, while flying at 31,000 feet, suddenly exploded due to a terrorist bomb placed on board. 259 people on board and 11 people on the ground in a town called Lockerbie, Scotland were killed. Among the people killed were a group of Syracuse University students, one of which was my Aunt Karen Lee Hunt. This presentation is dedicated to my Aunt Karen and the other 269 victims of Pan Am Flight 103. In the 20 years since the tragedy occurred, many things have been done to seek justice for and remember the people who lost their lives. In 1989, a group made up of the families and friends of the victims formed. This group is known as the Victims of Pan Am Flight 103. The Victims of Pan Am Flight 103 group has worked to improve airport security, specifically bomb screening devices. The Victims of Pan Am Flight 103 group pressured the U.S. government to use sanctions against Libya in order to bring the guilty parties to justice. The Victims of Pan Am Flight 103 group worked with the U.S. government to find a location for a memorial to the victims on U.S. soil. The result was a memorial cairn in Arlington National Cemetery. Many memorials have been built in honor of the victims in the town of Lockerbie, Scotland. Cemetery is home to a Scottish cairn memorial to honor the 270 victims of Pan Am Flight 103. The cairn was gifted to the U.S. by the Scottish people and consists of 270 stones, one for each life lost in the disaster. Syracuse University has done many things over the years in order to memorialize the victims. Remembrance quilt. One patch was created for each of the 35 Syracuse University students who died. Many scholarships have been given to honor and remember the victims. These include both high school and college scholarships and an annual program for 2 Lockerbie students to study at Syracuse University for a year. father of one of the Syracuse University victims, created a grouping of statues known as Dark Elegy. These statues depict grieving mothers from Pan Am Flight 103 victims. Many books have been written since 1988 to remember the victims and to theorize what happened and who was responsible. The Women of Lockerbie is a play written to capture what Lockerbie residents went through during the first couple of months after the tragedy occurred. Many songs and poems have been composed to remember victims and reflect on the tragedy. One of the songs written was a song in memory of my Aunt Karen. This song is called Song for Karen by Richard Newbegin, and this is the background music for this presentation. There have been many documentaries and theatrical films created that focus on the downing of Pan Am Flight 103. In 2008, the production of a Warner Brothers film based on Pan Am Flight 103 book, The Boy Who Fell Out of the Sky by Ken Dornstein began. Also rumors that director and producer Steven Spielberg will be starting the production of a Pan Am Flight 103 film surfaced in 2008. This film will be based on the book Flight 103 by former Israeli officer Yuval Aviv. It is my hope that the memory of the victims of Pan Am Flight 103 will never be forgotten, and that in the years to come they will continue to be honored in many ways.